What's going on, everybody? LK here, back at it again with another video, and today some more Dragon Ball FighterZ for y'all. So today I'm going to chill a little bit. I'm going to go back and review a topic we talk about every now and again. It's been about 6 or 7 months, basically since the beginning of Season 3 that I talked about this. I want to talk about how to build a team in this game today. And I'm putting a lot of emphasis on today, as in Dragon Ball FighterZ Season 3.5. When I started making videos for this game more often in Season 2, there were about, I want to say, 12 to 15 characters you could pick that were viable at a top level, and every character had really specific slots they belonged in. These characters were points, these characters you use second, these characters you use last. There were only a couple of ways to win really effectively in the game. So if you wanted to build a strong team, you had to have a really specific way to do it, and you had to play specific characters. Even if you wanted to be like cool or unique and build your own style of a team, you still kind of had to follow certain rules and pick certain characters, even if they weren't like the tournament viable ones. If you got a sec, like this video and subscribe to the channel if you already have not. It does help the channel grow, and I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, so where do we begin? So understandably, in previous seasons it was harder to build a good team. People are really worried about whether or not their team is good or not. But the thing about Season 3 is that the devs really, and this is definitely a positive thing, they really want you to be able to pick your favorite characters in a combination. This is why we have 3 assists now, and that every character has at least one of the quote-unquote most successful type of assist that exists in competition, so that people can pick characters they want to pick instead of picking characters they have to pick. So to get started, step 1, you need to pick your favorite character, and don't be afraid to do so. If you like Android 16, you play him. If you like Android 18, you play her. If you like Teen Gohan, you play him. This is where we're going to start. To help with this a little bit, my favorite character is Trunks, so we'll start with him. Now, Trunks is kind of a rare example where you don't want to play him first, but for the most part, you can play basically every character in front if you really feel like it. There are some characters in this game where they probably belong in the middle or the back, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. So next, after you got your favorite character, or characters if you already got it down like that, you want to think about how do you want to win in the game. Do you want to win by attacking them, like rushing them down really hard? Do you want to have really good moves that you could just do so you can get in? Do you want to mix, as Damascus might say? Do you want to play a defensive playstyle? These are basically the 4 main things you can do in the game. So you want to pick characters that will help you do just that. So let's use Trunks as an example. So if I wanted to make a team that had really overwhelming neutral with Trunks, I'd probably pick a team like this. Point Vegito, let's do like hit mid maybe, and then let's add Trunks in the end. So this is a pretty good spread. Trunks A assist helps both of these characters out a lot. You get to run around, hit buttons with Vegito and hits. And they have support. Vegito's A assist covers a really wide spread. This is a pretty good team that's focused on neutral especially. Now if I wanted to run away a little bit more, I might consider something like this, the team I actually used in the original Season 3 of base Vegeta, Trunks, and Broly. So this team can play pretty defensive. Vegeta is really good at running away, and you have a beam to support him, and you have a slower beam to support him as well. When you kill a character, you swap in Broly. Broly gets a beam assist and an anti-air assist, so then you could just kind of lame him out the rest of the game. If we're thinking about mix, trying to use Trunks, then I would probably go with something like this. Is Kid Buu, Teen Gohan, and Trunks. Teen Gohan gets mix-ups from both these characters pretty well. Kid Buu gets mix-ups with everybody. Trunks gets mix-ups with both these characters, so when you touch them, it's party time. And if I was thinking defense, I'd probably go with something like this, or maybe the first team I said, where it was a Vegito, Hit, and Trunks maybe. Something with an invincible assist to kind of protect you. Of course, Teen Gohan, his DP assist, the A assist is invincible as well, but UI Goku hits both sides, and it's kind of easier to hit confirm. Plus, there's some other applications that are there. You can use that to protect both your characters while you're running around. Now remember, these are all just examples, right? You can just look through the characters, see what they have, and try to finalize something that you want to do. The reason why I focus on these 4 things are that these builds are basically the things that are the most successful right now, but there's a lot of ways to do them with the different characters we have in the game. So the reason why I was able to do that so easily is because I'm relying on established builds. So this is something that I get a lot when people ask me if their team is good. Like sometimes people pick things like, let's say they play a team like this, and then they'll pull up and be like, yo, okay, is this team is good? Yes, it's good. You're relying on an established build. It's not even so much about the characters. Like the characters, you know, Kid Buu, UI, GT, we all know these are good characters, but this is also a pretty established thing. So between like Kid Buu UI, something that's established, Kid Buu GT, something that's established, but also the combination of what the assists do. So it's like block string, DP, beam. We've seen this forever in this game. What are some examples of established builds that you can rely on to help build your team around your favorite character? Well, we could do something like up beam plus beam. Up beams, up projectiles that go upwards, whatever. They're not very common in the game, but we do have a few. Besides GT, we have base Vegeta A, S Broly B. And as far as horizontal beams, we have so many choices available in the game right now between SSJ Goku, Krillin B, Adult Gohan C, Trunks B, Base Goku C, Yamcha B. I can go on and on and on. We also have the double horizontal beam, but usually when people play 2 horizontal beams, they use what I call a beam-like and a beam. So a beam-like is an assist like Android 21A or Z Broly A, where they have a projectile that travels full screen, but it's not like a Kamehameha per se. It's something different. Like it's either usually one hit, traveling across the screen. A bunch of characters have this. The one we are most familiar with in the game is the Kill Sage's Broly plus SSJ Goku, but there's been many more examples of this in play. Dragon Punch assist plus beam is also something we've seen a lot. This is something that kind of came out from Europe first. I think Shanks is the person who really popularized it amongst all the scenes in Dragon Ball. This is a thing with a DP assist plus a beam. So this is our original main example, is Adult Gohan plus SSJ Goku, but now there are way more ways you can do this. And you could also include up beams like GT if you want. So the common one, like we see before, is something like these two. Another one that we've seen that has kind of come out in Season 3 more than anything else, because there are just a lot more of these, are double defensive assists. So I wrote this in my notes as DP plus DP, but it's not actually true because not everyone who does this uses 2 DP straight up. So we have examples like the Kazunoko UI plus Master Roshi. We've got Kaiden's DP plus Barrier. Double defensive assists are really nice because once you are winning the game, it's really, really hard for your opponent to come back on you because you get to protect yourself and hide behind these assists while you're playing neutral. It also lets you do offense a little bit differently. Instead of like 50-50ing them, you kind of force this threat of, am I going to call my invincible assist or not? It lets you kind of mix up in a different way that's pretty interesting. Another nice little benefit is that most of these characters that have these defensive assists are not that common, so you have like a little buff in that someone might not have a plan ready to fight you. And the last one I want to cover is block stun plus beam. So the most common one from Season 2, of course, are these two, Kid Buu and SSJ Goku. They've been longtime friends in this game, but there are much more ways you can do this, and of course you do it with beam likes as well. So I kind of have something on this on my team right now. I'm playing Master Roshi and Z-Buddy, these two together. So I have a beam like with blocks and assists. You can also use tracking assists like, say, Tien's B assist combined with beams in the same way. And the last thing you have to do is not sit around and ask people if you think it's good, right? You need to test it. Test it, test it, test it, test it, test it. As I said at the beginning of this video, the devs really want people to pick the characters they like, and they want as many of the characters to be competitively viable as possible. We're in a really good spot in this game character-wise, right? But if you're going to try to build something around your favorite character and you're not playing a popular character, let's say you like a character like Gotenks, like Piccolo, like Android 17, like Videl, or something like that, you need to try it on people and see if it works for you. Because honestly, worst comes to worst and you can't figure something out, you could just copy a team or do something that's like really already being done a lot. That's why you see so many like UI and Kid Buu players in competitions, stuff like that. or last season everyone's playing like Kid Buu, GT, SJ Goku, like the same core characters, because we see it work, so we're going to rely on something that we know is going to work, as opposed to like taking a risk and being like, oh, I hope this works. But this season, you have to really try and experiment. With the team that I'm playing right now, I picked Master Roshi to go with Gotenks and Broly, right? Nobody knew anything about him, so there was no way for me to really know whether or not the team was going to work. The only way I would get any feedback is just by playing it against people. So just take some time, and about like maybe a day or two, see how you feel about it. Do you feel like things are easy or not? Do you feel like there's some big problem there? Did you pick something where you're like, oh, I want to win by mixing them up, but then like you're not mixing them up? Like think about what problems you're having and then go from there. This last thing, testing it, is the thing that people skip the most. Especially like that's why when like I said at the beginning of the video, how people tend to like ask me, hey, is this team good, or are these characters good together? And they have like a couple of established like top tier characters with like a random character, maybe their favorite character, right? Like a Blue Goku and Kid Buu, for example. It's probably good because you have something that people are already using on it, but just give it a try. All right, hopefully that helps though. The game is way more open-ended as far as team building than before, and I do think a lot of characters are strong. I haven't made like a tier list or anything for this patch per se, but I have a really good feeling about characters and how they also buffed some assists as well in this patch. So by all means, you really can pick the stuff you want to play in this patch. So hopefully this little guide helped. As usual, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Like and subscribe if you feel like it, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.